So one story that the response was kind of unexpected by me. I'll admit that has caught my eye in kind of the news overload that we get in today's world is the Stockton story. So I'm not gonna go into too much of the story. I just want to say, man, prayers for all involved in that. And it's exposing what gang culture really is. But this video isn't to tear this creator down at all, because I think this creator has done some amazing work and is really good at what he does. I more so want to point out where he lacks the understanding of what all of this stuff really is. So let's take a look at this video from Trap Lord Ross, and then I'll give my opinions.
That was my nickname for him.
Rory Mari.
Yeah.
He was fast.
Yeah, he was really fast.
Images, unlike the hundreds he has of Amari, smiling, hung on the walls of his home.
Oh my God, he took my baby. He took my baby.
Countless memories.
It's just so heartbreaking, man. And you got to remember, like, all of these songs that we'd hear. The last video I did, I updated you. There were songs where, you know, this isn't the first time people have been targeted with their children. And it's not cool. It's not fun. All that drill music's all well and good when you're making a song and you dancing on the block and you're shooting a music video outside the convenience store. But these are the real consequences of this stuff, man. It breaks my heart to see a father just breaking down at the loss of his son. Nobody should have to go through that. Like, nobody should have to experience losing a child. It's just so wrong, man. And it's not cool, man. I just can't condone it. People, as you saw in the last video I did, there are people that are condoning this, and there are people on the other side of the gang war of the people that got injured in this incident that are condoning this, and they're saying, well, you guys shot us with our kids and somebody got murdered in front of their children. But it has to stop. This eye for an eye makes everyone blind, and I think it's just so important to remember that, like, the only way this is going to stop is for people to be bigger and step up and say, this is not acceptable, we're going to stop this. Shooting up murdering somebody else's kid because your friend got killed in front of their children, where does that lead us? It just leads everybody to hell.
So first part of this video, I want to say that Trap Lord Ross built his whole career on black men, on the death of young black men, really. Unlike kind of how academics did it, I will say that Trap Lord Ross did it in a masterful way. Like, he actually made documentaries, and a lot of the stuff he reported on was after all of it happened. It wasn't as it was currently going on. Now, that was the problem with academics. He was geeking all this stuff up as it was going on. Trap Lord Ross does it from more of an academic of like researching. So it's just why I'm not tearing him down in this video, but more giving him a more full understanding. So, but to say that he doesn't condone kids being killed that's contradictory at his heart, like at his base. That's all this has been. Chicago was kids killing kids. And for me, speaking from as my profession, I've been working with at-risk kids in the trenches for like 15 years, almost at this point. And even some of my kids that were rappers got killed. Like, when you see it from a different like lens, you don't really realize that these are kids. These are 14 and 15-year-old boys that are being killed. And it's so normalized that people just like, oh, you know, it is what it, like, that's crazy. I imagine when I was doing that 14 to 15 and how much life I hadn't lived yet. Like, it, yeah. So that's that first point I want to address was, you can't say you don't condone kids getting killed, man. I understand that you were saying it from the level of kids that, you know, that weren't involved, that are the rappers' kids that are with them. I understand what you mean, but just at its base, it's a contradiction. So I think one of the things that Trap Lord Ross can't really comprehend or understand, and again, it's because he hasn't lived it. Like, and he says that himself. So again, I'm trying to be very careful on that, because I don't want to down talk the dude, because I'm a big fan of his content. I watch most of his videos. So, but he only understands the American black culture on the surface level. It's been so kind of pushed together with all, you know, because in New York you got Dominicans and Haitians, but the black American culture in Chicago, like, we are everybody in this Chicago stuff. And then, like, I don't know that much about the Stockton shooting. the culture, but it looked like blacks and Asians from what I'm seeing in clips and stuff like that. And a lot of black and Asian mixed gangs, and I think that's because it's the kind of demographics out there. But on the neighborhood level, how these people are nephews, cousins, uncles, brothers, and not just saying they like. It's hard. It's kind of hard to even explain it because it's like if you legit have came from an American black family, we all got our one hood cousin. It's a joke that we make in a lot of our media that we got our one hood cousin that's the wild card, but everybody love them, But they you never know, man. They might be in jail, They might, you got to be careful around them. If you for legit raised in a black family, you know what I'm talking about. Like at Thanksgiving and stuff, especially when you get to the teens and you like, okay, so and so know how to get what we try to go on this walk, for. Like he know he gonna have access to it, or so and so gonna bring that, so we all good. And you kind of never know what that cousin getting into. If you ain't ever had one, but they don't understand the dynamics of that. Are like to us, that cousin was like one of our favorites, but to the ops, he was a monster. And then, in a lot of trap in Raw's videos, he don't see that, or he can't understand that. Like, King Von might have been King Von to the world, but he's probably Vonnie to a couple of his cousins, I'm guessing, and that's a completely different person. Because I think that it gets caught up in, because a lot of these dudes that rap, you know what I mean, are real. They real dudes. They really doing what they saying they doing, but it doesn't clock that they have more to their life than that. A lot of these dudes are playing a character, and they're speaking on the high end of their criminal behavior, but it's not their real life. And I that's the part that it hurts to see, because I man, and that's almost why I stopped kind of pushing kids to rap, because I'm like, I'm just leading cattle to slaughter, man. Because it's one thing that I realize is that what happened in music, and that meeting in the prison industrial complex, and like all that stuff that we know that now that was conspiracy theory, and now is like obviously true, right? Like how did the weapons get in the hood? CIA with the crack epidemic. It's obvious. Like if you can't see what's happening in the inner cities, and it's not just black inner cities, it's Hispanic inner cities, it's Asian inner cities. Like if you can't see what's happening, and I get a lot of people don't understand why it's happening, and why it's happening is it's for control. Because when you keep, it's the more chaos that you can bring to an area, the more you can justify why you are in a better moral ground standing to make decisions for that group. And essentially, that's what happens all over the country. Because I've heard America is the most racist place, but we have so many black people that are in charge, especially in Milwaukee. I speak for Milwaukee in general. But on the rap side of this, though, the trap, drill rap, what it did was it took like the brightest and the best of us that in any different circumstances, and I think this was purposeful, like for the drugs in the 80s. It's a long-term plan, but this population of, imagine if like King Von would have been a student that got through school, started his own business. Like these are culture changers. Like I knew Duck. Like Duck was a culture changer. It was a different spirit about Dog. That's why it hurt so much when they killed him, because it was a spirit about dude. Like even on the other side, the Mac Millers. Imagine what Mac Miller does for the white culture. You know what I mean? Like Pooh Shiesty. Imagine how influential Pooh Shiesty could be in Memphis if he had a different message. Like Kodak Black. Imagine what Kodak could be in his area if he got off the drugs. but also like just had a different message. Imagine how influential. That's why I understand why they had so much control over the industry and like how the after seeing getting to see it and experience, I understood immediately why the contracts was the contracts, because they can't allow these, and it's the same with athletes, the same with entertainers, anyone that's getting paid by them people. I understand why they got the con, because they can't allow those people to go back and change and affect, because it wouldn't take much. They have to separate these people from their families and separate everybody from everybody, because it wouldn't take a whole lot to fix the stuff we got to fix. They got to push these narratives. They got to push these agendas. They got to do the separation. They got to do the gender wars. They got to do, because it wouldn't take much. We got a lot of resources. And we have some of the most like ingenuous, like creative, and like that. And imagine if that's, so I understand why they, do what they do. But in this, and this is for, like, again, I didn't want to downgrade talk Ross in this, but that entire community is hurt, man, because, and it's sad that that's a birthday party. And one thing, Trap Lord Ross, I was watching the new video he put out, the Stockton cops are furious at gang members' lives, which is a good breakdown of this. That no snitching stuff, like, man, y'all gotta grow up, bro. Like, if you are, I was talking about this the other day, if you are 25 plus and still in a gang, like, grow up, bro. You don't want to grow up. That's all that is. You don't want to grow up. You don't want to be an adult. I get it. It's tough, but grow up, bro. Like, all respect to all the stuff, man. All respect to everybody that passed in every gang. But, like, at some point as a culture, man, we got to get over this stuff, dude. We got to do something different. That's the whole reason I started the Black Show, man. I was trying to get to the younger ear, like, because I seen the results in my guys. And I didn't even know what I was talking about when I was, telling them, trying to help them and stuff. I had no clue what the world was. I look back now like, dang, I could have did a better job. I could have set some of my boys up even better than they are right now. That's why I do better with the kids I work with now. Because I'm like, oh, okay, I see. Once I see what the game is, I can prepare the people around me to be able to be competitive in this game. I'm a coach. It's what I do. So it sucks for that community, y'all. And again, man, I want the viewers to understand that these stories aren't just stories, and these aren't characters. These are real people. These are your cousins. These are your nephews. These are your sisters. You know what I mean? Like, these are real people, and that's happening to all this stuff that you see with all these stupid gang wars of people just because someone said something they didn't like about them. It's childish. We got to grow up. In these neighborhoods that this stuff happens in, it'll never be the same. And then the same people that y'all say are racist and are come up and buy that neighborhood and then start the cycle again in another hood. It sucks, man. It sucks. So it's Kenny Cams, y'all. I'm out. Peace.